Hello again, this is part 3 of Talking Vault with Mike and Matt.
So this is where we move on to something like the do I have the right version of this file? Do I have the authority to change this file? Because it's a permissions thing. If I believe as a CAD guy that I've finished with this file, I'm going to change the state, flick it over to review, for example, and I can see in black and white through Vault that that file is available now for Mike, my boss, to review it and decide whether it's good, bad or indifferent. It also locks the file so that I can't change it. If I give a piece of paper to somebody and they don't get around to reviewing it for a week, I'm doing a week's worth of work on that file. Actually, what gets signed off, the piece of paper, and what gets printed, the current drawing, are different. So by locking the file when it goes to review, basically what it means is even if it takes Mike a month to get around to reviewing it, what he's reviewing in paper is what's on the CAD machine. When he then says, yeah, it's good, because he does, because everything's right first time, we can release that file. Now, because this is a GA, a general arrangement drawing, this particular setting says, well, if you're going to release the drawing, do you want to release the parts and assemblies as well? Is Mike just checking the piece of paper, or is he checking all the CAD models? For this particular setup, the system wants everything in that drawing to be released as well. That's an option. So what I'll do, I'll just bring that on, and then I will include all its dependents, so we can see everything is there. Then we can make that put everything else into review at the same time, and then we'll go again, and we can put everything to release at the same time.
Don't click go yet.
Don't click go.
Just quick noting as well, as we're going through this in terms of traceability and reasons why you're checking it in and checking it out and then checking it back in. Comments.
Absolutely. We can put in writing why I changed that file.
Yeah, at the bottom, right there.
Yeah.
So that's either defaulted, as you can see there, to a standard text line just to complete something there released to manufacturing, or you could expand on it. You could change it whatever you want in there within reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just basically a traceability point of view. So you're going to explain why you had to do that, what you did.
Yes. Click OK. This file now becomes released. If you're using Vault Professional, because it's a licensed product, you've got to pay for each user. You can install it on as many machines in the business as you want, but if you've got 5 licenses, only 5 people can use it at any one time. But one of the benefits of Vault Professional is you also get a thin client. It's a free read-only access opportunity to the Vault. It runs through an internet software.
Intranet.
It doesn't go out to the wide world and come back in. You're not sharing data with anybody.
Yeah.
It just dials directly into your server, and only internal people will see that. Microsoft Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, just your internet software of choice. And it's a read-only view. With a normal setup, a released file would then become viewable to document consumers, the shop floor. So you can have a number of terminals on the shop floor that are wired in. They can print their own drawings then. They'll see them if they're released, and if they're not released, they won't see them.
Yeah, this is all about really sharing the design with the right people
at the right
time and the right stage of the process. So
absolutely.
Production aren't printing off work in progress stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, design enjoy guys aren't opening up release drawings and trying to retweak them when they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, the drawing, the revision, the state of the drawing work in progress released can be written onto the drawing itself. So if you've got a piece of paper on your desk that says released version 5, yeah, and you just take a quick look into the Vault client just before you manufacture it, and he says, hold on, it's released version 10. It's been through a life cycle change, somebody's added something to it. I now know I'm looking at the old piece of paper. Scrunch it up, put it in the recycling bin, print another copy, and away you go.
Yeah.
It keeps track of revisions as well. So if we decide actually there's a change that needs to be made to this file, we can change the state, we'll put everything back into work in progress, at which point the CAD guys can edit the file. You can see there that it automatically bumps to revision B. So as well as managing the versions of the file, the history, what did I do last week to kind of go back and retrieve that data, it manages the revisions of the file. Drawing Office, me and you, Mike, we care about the versions because we're working on that file day in, day out.
Yeah.
The wider business cares about the revisions because that's the one that gets manufactured. I can create 50 versions of a file before it ever gets sent to manufacturer at issue 1 or revision.
Yeah, it's basically tweaking.
Absolutely. So the wider business is concerned more with the revision of the file. So the right people get the right data at the right time.
Yeah. Same thing, by the way, carried across on Pro with the Thin client. Because if you're logging into the, you open up the Thin client through the web browser, you don't need to install anything. Doesn't include doesn't consume a license from the pool. But you log in using your own username and password credentials that we set up in the background when we set up the Vault in the first place.
Yeah.
And during the admin stage when we're setting it up, we speak to the right stakeholders to identify what version, what level of files, what state of files you have access to view or print or edit or anything.
Well,
like
I'll just put it out. With the Thin client, it's read only.
Yeah.
So you can decide.
But you can see the release stuff.
Yeah. Shop floor only see the released files, whereas the managing director, who doesn't have CAD anywhere on his machine, and he's not a draftsman, he's a businessman, he can see the work in progress files. Can't do anything with them beyond printing it and viewing it, but different people can see different files at a different point. But as far as the Thin client's concerned, it's all read only.
Yeah.
If you want to make the edits, if you're a CAD draftsman, you're going to have a seat of a full-blown thick client of Vault, and that gives you the read, write, and modify abilities. Once we've gone through the revision process of a file, we can then move into items. It's not everything that we put into a design is actually drawn in CAD. I draw a mechanism, a model of mechanism, all the steel is there, but I don't draw lubricant or paint or spec sheets or grease.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that go into a design that the wider business needs to concern itself with, that I, as a CAD draftsman, don't concern myself with. I don't model the grease. But when the components are ordered, the bill of materials is worked through, grease needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
So what we can do, we can itemize something. So we actually oops, hello. That was accidental, but it proves a point. I've just moved my assembly folder from the simple level into the drawings level. Just so as you know, there is a tick box that we can say, bring up a "Are you sure?" dialogue. Yeah, mine's switched off at the moment, so it let me without asking. But I haven't broken anything. In Windows Explorer, I would have broken that and been panicking. I don't know where everything is. But Vault has already gone into every file in the assemblies folder and done what it needs to do to rejig all those links, so everything still points to the right place.
So when you open it up in Inventor, for example,
it doesn't say I can't find the file. It already knows that the thing it's looking for is in drawings assemblies instead of just drawings.
Well done for making a mistake there.
Yes, I didn't mean to do it. I'll be brutally honest with you. So I'm just going to put that back where it was. A slip of the mouse finger. Okay, so we've got the general arrangement, which basically contains everything. Because it's been through a work in progress, a life cycle from work in progress to review to release. We can see we've got a history of that file, and we can see who's making those changes, so we can track who's doing what and when. I'm going to add this file to an item. Basically what this means is, beyond the file management, this thing that we design as a business has CAD files associated to it. It could also have grease, it could have a spec sheet. There's 3 different PDF files that are attached to it. There's spares. In the CAD file, I'm only going to put 3 nuts, bolts and washers in because that's what I need to make the component. But routinely we ship a bag of 2 nuts, bolts and washers.
Yes, it's a global bomb.
It's a global bomb, exactly. It's not just the CAD bomb. That's the difference. The CAD bomb tells me I need 3 to make it. The global bomb, the shipping bomb, says I need 3 to make it, 1 more to be spare.
And a couple of Allen keys.
And a couple of Allen keys.
And a blob of glue.
With Vault's basic, it understands that this file uses nuts, bolts and washers, but it won't tell me how many. When we get into the Vault Pro level, we've got a bill of materials, and it will tell me how many of everything that I need. So I'll just make these 2 rows visible. There we go. And then it tells me, oh, that needs box derived. So this is the same list that we saw effectively earlier on, the uses list. But in this particular case, what this is now telling me is I need 1 of these, I need 3 of those, I need 1 of the other. So somebody that's not related to the CAD department purchasing can fire up Vault, log in, and they can see, right, how many of what do we need to order? We can look and find the long lead time components, we can look at the stuff that we've got in stock, and we know that by the time I've ticked everything on that list, we've ordered enough of everything, we can then go and manufacture it.
It's worth noting at this stage as well, obviously appreciating time constraints that we've got at the moment, we can spit this list out in a format that can then be sent across to ERP systems.
Yeah.
It can be filtered into sort of finance systems that will accept any type of that table-based data.
Yeah, CSV, that type of thing, text file.
Costings and the like.
There are although they cost extra, there are official links to third-party ERP systems.
Yeah.
SAP, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't come in the box, but out of the box, or on a simple install of Vault Professional, you've got your export button. There's a text file imported at the other end, and then you can merge the information.
Yeah. So, there's one other thing that was on that list: recording a change as complete. Now, that's more your engineering change.
Yeah.
Your ECOs. So passing a part through it's been released.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone to site. Either the installer has been on site and has rung in and says, Jeff, we've got a problem. This is too short, too long, too wide, whatever. It won't go through the door.
Mm-hmm.
It needs updating. Or customers come back kicking off because something's not right. It's not to spec.
Yeah.
And something needs changing and again as a business process after a file has been released and sent to customer.
Yeah.
From an audit point of view, that's critical because you've got to check. You not only got to check for your own bring yourself sake, but from an audit point of view as well, if an auditor comes in and asks how many changes were made against that part and why, you've got that record there.
Yeah.
So just very quickly, Matt, summarise up the ECO process basically.
So engineering change order, numbers automatically generated.
And this can be done on any item.
Yeah, any item in the system.
It can be a Word doc.
Absolutely, it's not just
design
CAD, it's just
file, GA, subassembly, whatever.
Yeah, anything that's in Vault, we can work with. So you've got a general description of what you're doing. We've got the records. Although I've added the change order to the GA item, it understands that that's going to pull in lots of other bits as well, because they're all linked and related. Plenty of comments. Files in question, because the item itself isn't the file. The item is the record of the thing. The thing might be a file, but the thing might also be just this virtual thing in the ether that represents Greece or represents PDF. Could be a real PDF.
So, yeah, I think it's wrong.
These are the files that would need to be changed were I to action this ECO.
Yeah.
Routing, right. Anybody can request a change. Shop floor, guy on the site finds there's a problem, he can request a change. But the problem, you report it. Somebody puts it into the system and it just gets put in the system. Then somebody's got to say, actually, yes, that's the problem. Or don't talk wet, it's fine.
Yeah.
A qualified person says, yes, make that change. Then a CAD person makes the change. Then another qualified person approves the change. And you go through that step. You can set up your routing list. If it's a simple spelling mistake, I can create it, I can approve it, I can make the change. If it's a business critical £1 million change to that design that's going to affect everything we ever do, everybody in the business is going to be on this routing list. Because I want to do it. The management says, yes, it's good. Finance says, yes, we can afford it. Managing director says, yes, we can get it out in time. So different routing lists basically say who can do it, can it be done, who can do it, who can authorise it, and who can pass it through the system.
So these two examples here, you've got those two there. You select administrator and that status.
Change requester, they're the people that ask for the change. Administrator, they can go through the process of setting up the ECO. Approver, did it work?
Yeah.
Reviewer, is it good enough? Responsible engineer, that's the person who actually made the change in CAD. And then we've got where we are up to. Now this is a good visual clue. Anybody can create it. So I'm going to create it.
So you're getting visual feedback of where it's up to in the process for each ECO. And each ECO is uniquely numbered.
Yes.
So
with a comment. So we've now got an engineering change order in the system. So number 4 there. So let's have a look at that. We'll just edit that. Go up to the status. Open. Now my boss reviews this and says yes, it's worth a change or no, in which case we'll cancel it. Even if we cancel it, the record of the request is in the system. So if it gets requested week after week after week, there's something wrong, even if we can't put our finger on it. We should get around to changing it. If it gets requested and actually, yeah, it's a good one, we'll submit that. That gets submitted, and at that point, it's in work. We can set the system up, send an email then to the responsible engineer to say, oh, you've got a job to do this morning.
Yeah.
You need to get onto this ECO, grab these files and do something with them.
And it appears on their work list down there.
Yeah. So there you go, just refresh my screen. So ECO, because I'm logged in as an administrator, bottom right hand corner, it's easy and telling me down there, like an email type thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is Vault that's doing that. If I click on that, it puts me through to the right place. So because it's in work, I can check the files out, make the change, everybody's happy, and then when I finish my job, I can put it through to review. So the boss then looks at it again, and at that point you can approve it. I'm going to make it. It's close, it's done and dusted. Wipe your hands of it, get on with the next bit. You can reject it, go and rejig the file again. But importantly, you can see where it's up to in the scheme of things. Like with the work in progress review released life cycle of a drawing, if I print a piece of paper, pick a piece of paper that says WIP, don't touch it on the shop floor because it's not ready yet. If it says released, you're fine, but check it in Vault in case you're looking at released revision A and we're now on released revision B. Without this, with Windows Explorer, it just says it's a file, and I don't know where we're up to in the scheme of things. By the time we finish with this, I'm just going to fast track this. Let's edit that again one more time, and I'm going to put it through to approve. Job's been done, everybody's happy, and then I'm just going to close that change order so that nobody else picks up on it and does the job.
Yeah.
So by keeping track, at this end of Vault Professional, we moved beyond the drawing office slightly here. This becomes more information. It's not document management anymore. It's not file management. It's idea management. The thing we make as a business management, because it deals with things that are not necessarily real things in the drawing office.